is another interesting edition of the Market Review where we discuss key developments in the financial and capital market as it affects the economy. Today, our focus will be on investment opportunities for Nigerians in the unlisted OTC market, which is part of the capital market ecosystem. And my guest is Mr. Bola Ajomale, the Managing Director of NASD Plc. It's nice to have you on the program, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Before we begin the conversation, let us give you a wrap of key developments that occurred in the market from last week. According to the Debt Management Office, successful bids for the 12.5% FGN January 2026 and 13% FGN January 2042 were allotted at the marginal rates of 10.95% and 13% respectively. However, the original coupon rates of 12.5% for the 12.5% Federal Government of Nigeria January 2026 and 13% FGN January 2042 have been maintained. Also last week, Augusto & Co., the leading Pan-African credit rating agency with operating offices across Africa, emerged one of the 3 companies to be certified as an approved verifier by Climate Bonds Standard Board to perform verification of green bonds projects and assets in Africa. We take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue the conversation for today.
Tune in to Web TV Daily to stay up to date and informed on the financial market, personal finance, and more. We have got you covered with all your favorite TV shows, economy and politics, market review, women's series, millennial talk, Islamic Finance Weekly, The Brief, exclusive interviews, events, and we keep you up to date on all the updates in the financial market with the market opening gong. Watch premium content. Watch Web TV. Same news, different perspective.
Welcome back, and if you're joining us, it's the Market Review, and my guest today is Mr. Bola Ajomale MD, NASD Plc. He will be discussing investment opportunities for Nigerians in the unlisted OTC markets. Let's first begin with the review of key activities in the unlisted OTC market for the year 2021. Mr. Bola Ajomale, a lot of things happened last year, particularly the NGX listing in the NASD, that's the platform. And also we saw the NELTS trading platform also carrying out activities. Can you also just give us in summary some additional things, developments that happened from last year?
Well, last year was active in terms of trading activity, in terms of participation in the market by new players who came in, and there was a general expansion in attitudes and an improvement in the climate, so to speak. The year before was a bit difficult in the sense that, well, because of all the lockdowns and everything. NGX was probably a major that came into the market, and that's because it confirmed the role we have always played, which is acting from the outside, from the outer parts of the market, ushering shares into the market. It's a great opportunity for people who are looking for securities that have not yet been fully exploited or fully analyzed. This is where you find them on this kind of market. So NGX came in and successfully migrated into the NGX platform itself. Trading was quite heavy and quite active. And on the opposite side of things, we saw One PLC leave NGX and come into the OTC market. Again, that confirmed the flow, but there's one continuum in the market, and the relationship between NGX and NASD is very, very smooth. So that's a major thing that happened in the markets last year.
That's quite remarkable. I like the fact that you said the climate improved, there were improved activities, and of course your trading platform, like I discussed earlier, also helps to facilitate activities. Now this year 2022, a lot of things are happening, a lot of competition, a lot of big quests to deepen markets. So for the NASD, what's the strategy for deepening the unlisted securities market, making it very attractive in the year 2022? I know that you have initiatives like NASD, the NASD Enterprise Portal, and the Venture Ramp, amongst others. Well, and also, I must note that from the ProShare Capital Market Service report, which we do every month, capturing activities of all the ecosystem players in the market, NASD moved up over 100 billion naira in capitalization from 500 to 600 billion last year. So are we looking at almost 800 billion or even 1 trillion naira capitalization this year? That's ambitious, I know.
I would be excited to see 1 billion and 1 trillion. If that happens, I'd be very excited. It's always possible. Now, you know that the OTC market covers everything that is not listed on NGX, essentially.
Yeah.
So that means all the fintechs that are raising funding right now, ideally, they belong to the OTC. It is OTC activity, and that's where we're focusing a lot of energy this year. We need to, and we're almost starting a campaign to domesticate the fintech industry by mobilizing funding for these fintechs from within the country. And that way it expands the market. It also domesticates investment activity. It gives us the best investment activity opportunities, which also means that when the dividends and when the returns are going to be paid from these companies, they actually come to Nigerians. So that's one of the first things we're trying to do. Another thing we're trying to do to expand the market is also address the crowdfunding aspect. There are a couple of caps on that right now, which make it a bit more difficult for us to expand into. The first being that the amounts that are capped, the caps on the amount that can be raised and the amounts that can be invested, mean that we won't be seeing the kind of traction that is possible in a crowdfunding venture. NASD, however, is positioning to be a quasi-regulator of that industry, rather than being a raising platform. We will do raising for donor-based crowdfunding, but our strategy on the crowdfunding side is to essentially collate and regulate activity, acting in our role as an SRO, regulate activity in that field rather than being a raising platform ourselves. That's another aspect to our strategy. Now, on the private markets, there's quite a lot of interesting activity that we can see happening, and that's on the NASD side of things. There's a lot of activity we're seeing there, and we'll be seeing a lot more of during this year. We'll be seeing activity on from the PE funds. A lot of the private equity firms and funds are now reaching maturity from when they started. They are beginning to prepare to offload. And as they do, we reckon that they would offload first into the unlisted market before, if there's going to be a migration of some of them into the NGX, that may happen. On the other hand, they may just be retained on this end of the market. So we're seeing quite a lot of activity and quite a lot of opportunities all over the spectrum of the capital. Another major thing, and something that I must highlight, is that the sophistication and the growth and the trajectory of the market is such that we're seeing new products coming into the market across the spectrum, from the debt side to the equity side, and we're seeing hybrid instruments coming in. We are seeing, we've got a couple of green, and you mentioned it earlier on, that even our rating agents are now being certified to be assessors. So the green industry is going to grow. The book industry is going to grow. I expect that we will see the first couple of derivatives coming into the market. So the market is becoming more sophisticated. Technology is playing a very big part of it. And I reckon that before long, we'll be seeing issues like tokenizations coming into the market. We'll be seeing the use of blockchain as well coming into the market, and NASD is looking at that side as well. So there's quite a lot of activity, and the best of the market enabled by technology is widening by the minute.
All right. I'm impressed. I know last year also, as a follow-up, we talked about the commercial papers being part of your activities too. I don't know if that has been approved and you had traction in it.
We're likely to start commercial paper this year in the second quarter.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. Now let's look at policies. Policies are very important for the growth of the market. So fiscal to monetary policy outlook for this year. What are those policies that you see that will have impact on the unlisted securities market, and how do you like the authorities to really play out to support the growth of the market?
Policies that will likely affect and the capital market is a continuum as opposed to each market having unique policies that would affect it, I think. So the tax regime in general will affect all exchanges and all markets. As it is more expansionist now, it is likely that it may dampen the tendency to invest. Another thing about the tax regime is that it is making it more expensive for companies to do business, in which case their profitability may be impacted. We think the way our foreign exchange is being managed, our reserves and our balance of trade, that is going to affect companies as well. The more expensive it is for us to, and the level of inflation we have is going to again dampen the performance of some companies. Others may actually do well, especially the exporting companies. They probably would do better this year, and we're seeing some of that in the market. We have a couple of companies on the market that are export oriented, and those ones we anticipate would have a relatively good time this year. We think the policies, banking policies in general, would have a big impact on the general market, the general economy. They're very most of the other companies on the capital market essentially are economy dependent. It's just in varying degrees. So if the economy strengthens, if our policies are such that they can improve the economy, then we anticipate that it'll be a great market. On the other hand, if the policies are such that they encourage inflation, such as the PIB, for example, if they encourage inflation, then we will have a bit of a tough time on the market, yes.
Okay, that's fair to hear. Now, briefly, your perspective on SEC's revised capital market plan. They're planning to revise it. What are the opportunities you see for the unlisted securities market as a market leader? What would you like to see happen more as it tries to bring it to speed with the current innovations and developments?
So a bit of history. The master plan was signed off, I believe, in 2014, between 2014 and 2015. So we have spent, it's a 10-year plan, and we have spent, we've done quite a lot. I was part of the review group, and we were quite pleased with the amount of the objectives that we have covered and what we have done. However, it is a good idea for you to revise an 8-year document when you've done 8 out of 10 years. It makes sense for you to revise it, and that's what the revision is about. As it's being revised, the first, and we have taken account of the changes that have occurred and developments that have occurred over the last couple of years. And we can see that DLT, distributed ledger, is a major issue that has come up over time. And so we as an exchange are embracing blockchain technology, and we are, before the end of the year, are going to launch a blockchain platform. That is the plan, and that's a major thing that will happen this year as a result of the master plan, which has tried to position Nigeria as the foremost capital market in the country. That's a major opportunity.
Okay, I hear that's the blockchain, which is very key. Now, finally, what are the investment opportunities for Nigerians in the unlisted OTC market? We hear much about the other markets, but what opportunities are there in this year and beyond?
There are opportunities in crowdfunding. They're small, but they are there. They are available, especially for the small investor who just wants to start. There would always be cautions around the level of risk you're taking, so it's a bit more risky. There are opportunities in commercial paper. there are opportunities in the large equities, and we have a couple of large equities. I will not name any of them, but we have some large equities trading on the platform, as well as small, extremely efficient companies that are also on the trading platform. I always ask any potential investor to speak to their financial advisor, and especially if it's a stockbroker, and they will be able to direct you into the market and also all the opportunities that are there. We will, as I said, move closer to the real estate industry. We will move closer to the fintech space. Those are areas where we see significant opportunity. And as we expand, we shall be updating and informing everyone. But those are the areas that we're looking at for expansion that we think will serve the investing community.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Bola Ajomale. You know that in ProShare and of course in Web TV, we try to cover the entire ecosystem of the market, not leaving anyone behind. And so definitely it's interesting to see the opportunities you bring to the fore, particularly in real estate and the fintech industry, which are also big players. In our analysis on ProShare's report, we said 6 key sectors that we should watch this year. Part of them are, of course, construction, which delves into real estate, and of course, fintech, which is part of financial services and dovetails into the ICT. So it's interesting to see their plan to bring some level of governance and opportunities for people to invest in the market with caution. And we hope that this year we'll continue to monitor you and see you boost capitalization and create more opportunities for Nigerians and SMEs and other players in the market. Thank you once again for the opportunity and sharing with us the investment opportunities for Nigerians in the unlisted OTC market. We had Mr. Bola Ajomale MD, NASD Plc on the show. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That'll be all for this edition of the Market Review Show. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions on our conversation today on the opportunities for investment for Nigerians in the unlisted OTC market, please send them to otobasido@proshareng.com. We'll be glad to respond to you appropriately. Also, follow our website, www.proshareng.com, to read our latest news articles, stories, and reports on the capital market. We also cover, like we've said, the unlisted OTC market. When you click on the website, go to the right hand of the bar, scroll down, and you'll see the unlisted OTC market. All the latest activities as captured also by the NASD Plc. You can engage us with our social media platforms that are displayed on the screen. Don't forget that you need to be informed to make the right investment decisions. Thank you for watching, and keep discussing the financial and capital markets because they create wealth and economic opportunities.